given to us by the Weather Service. It's indicated on the radar. So here's where we are. Okay, so yeah, this will be in Marion about 725, Waldo about 742, and Ashley at about 755 if it holds together. And what I've done, again, I'm going from where the actual rotation is, where we got the best part of the rotation. That's where we have the best chance for the tornado. That's from there. So again, you still have time to get to your safe spot, but again, you need to be getting down to the basement or into that interior room. I always say too, you throw on a pair of shoes, because a lot of those interior rooms tend to be bathrooms. Throw on a pair of shoes if there's anything broken glass. You won't have to worry about cutting your feet or anything like that. Also, I would recommend, if you can, grab a bike helmet, because you don't want to have anything kind of falling on you. But if you can get to the basement, definitely get down there, because that's where you're going to be safest as this approaches you. But we're going to kind of now pop this back on. I just kind of want to show you what we're looking at with this as it moves in, so we can kind of get an idea of how it's traveling. But you can see it is definitely moving on in, and it's showing a little bit of intensity. Now, the good news is they just pared it back a little bit, and I just got a little alert from the Weather Service. So it's been expired in Wyandotte County, so now this tornado warning is just in Marion County. And again, the heart of Marion County is really under the gun with this. Now, it is showing, it has kind of weakened a little bit. Still, though, it's still pretty nasty out there, so still picking up some rotation with that. But again, this is going to be in effect until 7:45, so make sure that you are doing what you can to stay safe. What we'll do, too, I want to kind of cut through this and kind of show you what we have with this cell as it moves in. Kind of look at this in the vertical, because these storms, when I was looking at them earlier, yeah, they got a pretty good vertical development with them. They extend pretty high into the atmosphere. And so what goes on with that is when you have these storms that can get 35, 40,000, I mean, shoot, the other day we had something upwards of 50,000 feet. But when you can get them up to 35,000 feet, you got a really strong updraft into the storm. You can kind of see right here a little hail core. Again, this is just to the northwest of Marion, about 7-8 miles away from it. And you got a nice little hail core there. But what happens is you can get the storm, it pushes up into the storm, makes it really grow up high into the vertical. But we all remember science class, what goes up must come down. So you have the strong winds pushing it up, and then you're also going to have very strong downdrafts coming with this as well. So very strong gusty winds will be possible with this, not just the tornado threat, but also wind gusts easily to around 60 miles an hour, maybe a little higher than that. And again, we also have that hail threat and just the torrential rain. And we're looking at actually the threat for not just tornadic activity and also that severe thunderstorm warning, but we also have a look at a flash flood watch. It's in effect right now in far southern Ohio. And actually what's showing up on this right now too, we've got a new product that actually was just talking with our weather service provider yesterday about this. This right here, notice this actually is where we're picking up some hail in the storm. So you're about to get hit with some really bad hail. You're already getting hit with some heavy rain, but some really bad hail as well out in Morale. So up that way, up in far northern Marion County, you're gonna have to be very careful with that. Again, now just south of Upper Sandusky, you're no longer under the threat with this. Really what we're concerned about is what's going on in Marion, in the heart of Marion County, because that's where this is headed. We got a lot of viewers who live in Marion, so if you are watching this, make sure you're heading on towards your safe shelter and getting on to where you can be safe. But as I mentioned, we also have the threat for some other action out there, not just that severe thunderstorm warning, but we've got some heavy rain right now in town, but we've also been tracking a lot of rain down in southern Ohio throughout the day today, and that has led to a flash flood threat. So we've got flash flood watches that are in effect out in far southern Ohio. So we don't just have a tornado threat, as I mentioned. We are also looking at the threat for some flash flooding. But the most immediate threat that we have, definitely, that would be our tornado warning that was just issued. It's actually been now in effect for about 10, 15 minutes. But we've been tracking it though throughout the Moral. Okay, I got from a viewer. Thank you so much from a viewer. It's Moral. Okay, thank you, Linda. So Moral, you're the one that you're getting hit with this, but we've been on this for about 10, 15 minutes now. I was actually tracking this on Facebook Live before when it was in Wyandotte County, and you can see right now it's hitting Moral. As we take a look there, they're getting hit pretty hard with some very heavy rain and also the threat for that tornado. So we'll pop open now, look at what's going on with the hail tracker. Because now we're starting to, as I mentioned, I was just kind of showing you just near Moral, we're looking at that heavy rain and that hail threat. It's showing up now on my hail tracker, and our winds too. Those are looking pretty bad as well. So as we pop this back on, I just want to kind of juxtapose the two. Okay, so I can kind of get an idea. You can kind of see right here, it's now pushed on. It's just now northwest of Marion. It looks like this will be tracking, just watching the way this is going, kind of like this. So it's going to skirt by really the west side of Marion. Looks like you're going to be the ones who are going to be seeing at least the biggest threat for the tornado. You're all going to be dealing with that threat for hail and heavy rain, obviously. But this right here where the rotation is, appears to be tracking about like this. So it's going to push it probably through about the, at least right now, and if that changes, don't worry, we'll let you know. But right now it looks like it's going to push it through the west side of Marion, the actual town of Marion, and right now it's just north of 95. This is 309 right here, and actually that rotation is just north of 309. Let's see if we can get any closer streets on there to kind of give you an idea of exactly where it is. You can see, yeah, we just got a new one in. Okay, so it's near Upper Sandusky Road. Big Island, you're about to see this. Also 309, Espyville Road 2, headed northbound. That's kind of where it is. So I'll kind of point this out for you. This is where we have right here is where we have the best chance for rotation. In this spot right here, it is just northwest of Big Island. We'll widen out a little bit. I'll get you an idea how far it is away from there because it's going to be moving on in there fairly quickly. I mean, it is right on your doorstep, Big Island. If you are in Big Island, you definitely need to be heading on to your safe spot because it's 2 miles away from you. It's moving at 20 miles an hour. It's going to be there in about 3.5, 4 minutes. The actual rotation will be. So it's going to be there very quickly. And we're also looking at another spot, too, from Marion. If you want to just kind of look at where this is away from Marion. It's still about 7 miles away from you. As I mentioned, it looks like it's going to track just at least the worst of this rotation, just to the west side of Marion. If you're on the east side, you still want to be heading to your safe spot because these things can change in an instant. But that's kind of what it looks like and kind of where this looks like it's headed. And we'll zoom out a little bit. We'll get you the latest track on it and kind of show you where it's going, kind of get you an idea of some arrival times of where it will be. Again, if you are in Marion County, you definitely need to be taking this seriously. We can see that this will 25 miles an hour. Big Island, it's on your doorstep. Again, I just mentioned it'll be there in a minute or so. And yeah, it's about a minute away from you. We are looking at this out in Owens at 7:30, Waldo at 7:42, and Ashley, you will be looking at this, if this holds together, at about 7:55. Just got an update from the National Weather Service. Cleveland is, the Weather Service in Cleveland continues their tornado warning. And again, just radar indicated, but still hail of upwards of 1.5 inches. So that's pretty big hail for Marion. This is in effect till 7:45. And again, it continues. It's just northwest of Marion. It continues moving southeast at 25 miles an hour. So there's, again, your arrival times. Just kind of looking at where this is going. Again, it does look like it's probably going to skirt by the west side. It may even pass west of Marion, at least on its current trajectory. It looks like it will. But still, if you are in Marion, you want to be hitting that safe spot. And really, Big Island, that's where we're really concerned right now because that rotation was right on your doorstep. We just kind of looked at that. We'll get to that back to that in a second so we can kind of give you an idea of where it is. But it was right on your doorstep, about a mile or so away. So actually now we just dropped Big Island off that because it's hitting Big Island as we speak. So we'll have to watch out that way. So just keep that in mind if you are up there. And I know I mentioned it before. We'll say it again, though, because we may have some viewers who are just tuning in right now. They may hear the tornado sirens going off around their house. Get to your safe spot. Get to the lowest room of your house, your basement. Get on, especially in Big Island, in Marion, get on into that interior room on the first floor. If you do not have a basement, a lot of slab homes up that way, so just keep that in mind. And the latest with the, okay, see, so this is now just northwest of Big Island, the rotation. Actually, well, if we move this one around, okay, so we get a little bit of overlap now. Still, yeah, just northwest of it, we are looking at that, and we are looking at the threat for, and I wish we had a camera up there. Sadly, we do not. Our Marion camera's not working right now. But you can see, though, where we have the, again, the reds and the greens right next to each other. That is where we have the threat for this tornadic activity. So anywhere in this spot right here, we'll zoom in and get you an idea of some of the roads that are really on top of all that. Looks like it would be Upper Sandusky Road headed northbound. That's Prospect, Upper Sandusky Road, Bumford Road as well. Looking at that, also along 309. So that's kind of where this is, where the worst of this is. We've got Wildcat Pike as well, looking at that threat for the tornadic activity, again, where we have the reds and the greens right next to each other. So you can kind of see this is just to the northwest of Big Island, where we have a really good shot at seeing some of that tornadic activity because we're really picking up that rotation on the radar. So again, we can't stress this enough. Make sure that you're being safe out there. And it does look like as we see and take a look and put the radar back on, we'll kind of see some of that heavy rain. We got the latest hit with the radar, and it's kind of tough to see where this is. That's one of the things that's nice about our radars. We can kind of get an idea of what's going on inside of them by probing them and looking at the winds with them. And I actually want to take a look at the shear with this. And it's not showing up too much. let's see if we have, well, let's get the winds back on there where we can, we'll pop on the live radar instead. And you can see, again, hitting very hard out in Big Island. You're getting hit with some very, very heavy rain. We've been dealing with some lightning, too. A lot of lightning with this, so just keep that in mind that you're probably getting quite a light show out that way, too. So that's another thing that's probably going to be, you're hearing that along with our weather sirens going off up that way. Looks like we are going to be dealing with for a little bit longer, so just keep it tuned here. And again, I know there's a lot of people who want to be watching Jeopardy. You can go to Jeopardy's website if you're missing it. Not picking up too much on the debris tracker, so that's a good piece of news. So what we can, yeah, not too much, but what we are looking at there, not a whole lot on that. So what will happen is we can look in there, and sometimes we can kind of pick up debris. Not seeing a lot of that here with the correlation coefficient. Let's pop this up. Pop that up. Okay, yeah, so we're still doing pretty well on that front. And what you want to see is when you start to see in where the rotation is, when you start to see those blues and those purples, that's when you really start to see that. But that's not where the rotation is, so that's good news on that front. You can see now, actually, that rotation is pushed just, it's moving into Big Island right now, and it is on the way. So along Upper Sandusky, Prospect Road, you can see that, but it is right on top of Big Island right now, and it's very, very close to Marion as well. So definitely, it's going to be one of those things that you need to make sure that you are headed to that safe spot, because it looks like it will likely maybe skirt by the west side of Marion, but definitely our viewers up in Big Island, you're probably hearing the sirens going off, and we definitely have a good rotation right here, and it's right on top of you right now. So keep that in mind if you are tuning in, that you're definitely going to want to be getting safe. Just got a new update. Okay, we just got good news. That tornado warning has just been canceled. Well, that is very good news. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning now. Tornado warning has been canceled. Again, apologize for breaking in over Jeopardy. You can always go to Jeopardy's website, jeopardy.com, and get the latest on that. We are going to head back over to regular programming now. If this tornado warning does get reissued, we will be popping back on. Keep in mind, it's now a severe thunderstorm warning. Winds capable of about 60 miles an hour and an inch in diameter hail. That's about the size of a quarter with this. So we'll get you back to regular programming, and we will be tracking this on air and online as well when we get off. So head on over to our Facebook page if you want to get more updates on that. But we're back to regular programming. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Jeff Booth.